In this video, I'll briefly introduce the topic of R packages, how they function, and how to acquire and enable packages within the RStudio user interface. R packages are incredibly important as it pertains to achieving full mastery of the coding language, and also as it relates to one of the main strengths and differentiations of R as compared to its contemporaries. So let's say that you're working on a particular project, and this project requires maybe financial calculations or language modeling or perhaps Markov chains, and you prefer to simplify your workflow by utilizing a function which accomplishes your task in a simplified manner, a manner which is more efficient than what is available in the basic coding library. So the first thing we're going to need to do is identify our need. We need to find out as to whether or not a package exists which allows us to execute the functionality as it relates to the task which we're looking to accomplish. So to do that, go to Bing or Google or DuckDuckGo and search financial calculator in R, or maybe language modeling in R, or Markov chains in R. And you should, in your results, find whether or not a package exists which can be utilized for your particular needs. So with that package identified, we have to then go ahead and get that package installed. So to do this in RStudio, you need to go to the right-hand corner of the interface, click on the tab Packages, and then click Install. You should encounter this menu. Type the name of the package which you're interested in downloading and installing. Leave everything else the same. Leave the repository from CRAN, install to the default library, and make sure the box which has install dependencies is checked. Why this is important, we'll get into later. If you're in a situation where you're downloading something from a developer's GitHub or from a developer's page, you might need to install from a package archive file, which is beyond the scope of this particular lecture, but just be aware that that is there. We're going to be installing directly from CRAN, so go ahead and type in the name of your package. We're doing Keras as our package that we're utilizing for this example, but whatever package you want to download and utilize, go ahead, type that in there. A box will come up which has the spelling of what it believes that you're looking to download and install, and go ahead and find what it is. Make sure you click it, and then once it's clicked, click Install. So I've Keras typed, click Keras, and then Install. In your console, if you're using the RStudio interface, you should see something which resembles this slide. What's going on is it's looking for the particular files as they exist within the CRAN repository. It's informing you as to which dependencies are necessary to be also downloaded and installed. And then it's going to go ahead and download and install them, assuming everything goes well. Also, as it relates to which version of R the package is most optimized for, you might also get that as well. So just let this go. It might take some time depending on the size of the package which you're installing. Now, once the package has been downloaded and successfully installed, you're going to need to enable it. Now, there's two ways to accomplish this. I'm going to show you how to enable a package from the user interface of RStudio, but you really ought not to get in the habit of doing this. All right? So don't get in the habit of doing this. Just you could use this particular package menu as a way to determine which packages have been downloaded and installed. But as far as initiating packages, I just want to show you this functionality. I'll show you the optimal way to do it in a moment. But if you wanted to initiate a package from the RStudio user interface, find the package within the Packages tab, and then click the box to the left of that particular package. This will initiate that package and all the package dependencies. And you'll see that this is occurring within the R console. Now, The optimal way to go about initiating a package, you really want to avoid the prior steps which I had showed you. The optimal way to initiate a package from code is to type the function library and then in quotations, put the name of the package, which functionality you'd like to utilize. So in this case, we're going to be using functions from ggplot2. So library, and then in quotes and parens, ggplot2. So go ahead and run that code, and you should see the same message appear within your R console. Now, the reason you'd want to do this, as opposed to the alternative, is when you leave your session and then return to it to work on code, you're going to need to re-enable the package. So if you're working with functionality as it exists in ggplot2 and you leave, you exit out of R and RStudio, maybe your computer gets restarted, maybe there's a blackout or something like that, and then you need to come back to your code, you need to remember that ggplot2 was enabled. Otherwise, the functions of ggplot2 will not work session to session. So you'll need to, every time you begin a session, after having closed out of R and RStudio, you'll need to run library ggplot2 if you're using ggplot2 functionality. That's why you want to have this in your code as a reminder. Of course, the functionality of ggplot2 isn't going to be innate, right? You're going to actually need to know which functions are within that particular package. And this goes for any package. It could go for Keras. It could go for any package that you decide to download and initiate for your work. So you may want to type into Google or any other search engine the name of your package and then manual. And in doing so, you should have a link which appears to the CRAN webpage, which is associated with the package's manual and functionality. So you should see something like this, cran.rproject.org, and then the name of the package. In your search results, give that a click. This should take you to a page which resembles the following. It gives you a whole bunch of information as it relates to the package, but really what you're going to be interested in is the reference manual. So go ahead and click the reference manual. It should be in a PDF format. And then within that reference manual, you should have all sorts of functions which are explained to you, notes from the developers, and examples of the application of those particular functions. So go ahead and read through that, and then maybe try applying some of the functions innate therein to your code. So why use packages? Well, packages allow you to simplify functions, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time you're doing an R project that has a bit off the beaten path as it pertains to analysis. So think of the basic R programming language as this orchestra on the left, and this gentleman on the right with the didgeridoo. Let's say we need to bring him in for a particular piece. He's still going to utilize the functionality of the orchestra, but he's going to have a specific functionality as it relates to his particular task in the greater scheme of the project. As far as dependencies are concerned, and this is a very simplified manner in which I'm going to explain it, is if you have a package, say it's package C, to get package C to function specifically, package C might have been built with some functionality of package A or package B, or some combination of the two in varying magnitudes. So for package C to work, package A and package B must be present. So as it relates to our robot friend over here, for his hand to work, he needs to have an arm and shoulder. So when you're installing and downloading a package, say package C, and you see dependencies also being installed, packages A, packages B, or whatever they may be, the reason they're being installed is without them, package C wouldn't function because package C was written with a bit of package A and package B. So that's where we're going to end today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. If you have any questions, maybe leave a comment so we can all help one another out. We're trying to get this message out to as many users as possible. Best of luck in your research, and thanks for stopping by. Until next time, take care.